It was a great lacrosse game. From a coaching perspective, I'm not sure how great it was in terms of execution, but nonetheless, you know, that's an important win because that's a resume builder, and that's one that you get to put in your pocket for later on. I think that's a really well-coached team, and I think that's a good team. And you know, I think I can speak for us. It felt like we made a lot of mistakes today, missed a lot of chippy ones, had some miscues on defense. But I think the thing that I walk away with was we talked about this game was about toughness. That was the first key on the board, was toughness. And I think our toughness was challenged to have to come from behind at 4-1, and then we were down 3, I think, another time, and maybe 2 another time. So our guys showed a lot of character. You know, we made one more play. We made one more save when we really needed it, and we made one more play in overtime when we needed it. It's a game that you'll look at, and I think we're all going to look at it. Both staffs are going to look at it and go, wasn't our best game, but it was a terrific lacrosse game for the fans. I'm really proud of our students and our student section. They came out and they were great today. They were awesome today, and just think it's a good, solid win over a really good team. And it's over now. We got to move on, and we got to get ready for the defending national champions. So it doesn't get any easier.
Questions?
Joel, was that play drawn up the way?
Yeah, Coach. We had ran it in the second quarter, I believe, for Frazier, and we saw that they jumped the pick. So when Coach had called it in overtime, we had talked about faking it just because we knew that they've been jumping picks all day. And they were getting us in the first half. They were jumping when we weren't quite ready for it and stuff like that. So we came out like that, and the attack happened to know what I was thinking, so they had given all the space, and it was just happened to work out perfectly.
Joel, how do you characterize your performance in this game for the first 62 minutes? In the context that was your first point, you had 5 ground balls and you made a lot of other impactful plays as well.
Yeah, I think with how many guys we have on offense and how deep we are with so many midfielders and Shaq quarterbacking the attack and stuff like that, I wasn't necessarily needed as much in the offense, and I was needed somewhere else. So I had tried put a lot of effort into the wings and stuff like that. We had started out really slow on the wings, and we weren't really doing our job in the second half. And then Matt Ledwin stepped up and was able to create some 50-50 ground balls in the wing. And then when it was my turn on offense, I had great guys to play with.
Coach, are you, with your players, are you comfortable with these types of games, the shootout games? Did you run with those teams?
You know, it's funny. I find it interesting. Everybody thinks we want to play slow. One of the keys on our board is run against the runner. They run. They play in 3 or 4 phases. They play in transition, then they play in quick strike offense, then they sub, and then they play 6-on-6. And they take their time in their 6-on-6. They're not in any hurry. And we said when we have an opportunity to run the other way, we wanted to. Did we want to get into a track meet with them? No, we did a couple times. And you know, one time I think Nick Fields came down. He makes a great save. Boom, they're going the other way. You know, we don't feel uncomfortable letting the guys get up and down. We have enough depth where we don't feel like we're running guys into the ground and then we can't do it. You know, Joel talked about today. He was on more wings today than he has been. They run their little, you know, subbing game where they bring a pole out to the sideline. They want to play 5-on-5, and we didn't want to get involved in it, so we just sent Joel in. He spent more time in the defensive end today than the offensive end today. So we don't have a problem getting up and down when we can. You know, I think you saw that today, and Joe Carlini, one of our transition middies, got 2 assists.
Gerald, can you talk about that save that you had on Brian Sherlock? From your perspective, what did you see?
When I saw him starting to wind up, I was like, I need to stop this. All the guys were relying on me. I didn't play that well during the rest of the game, but when confident to build, like as the game went on, and when I saw the shot coming, I was just like, all right, I got this.
Did you know he was going to go high?
What?
Did you know he was going to go high?
Well, no, I saw him shoot it. I saw the ball.
Gerald, and then Dave, before that shot, when Spencer was banging down low, from your angle and your angle as well, Dave, did it look like he may have had just enough to try to sneak one by? Were you ready for that? Were you looking for that? It looked like he got just enough space to like maybe pick a tough shot, but maybe try to win it right there before throwing it back. And Dave, get your thoughts as well.
Yeah, he's a great player and he loves those low angle shots. So I was expecting that, and then when he threw it up and out, I was obviously like relieved because he was right on the goal line. So I did expect him to shoot it, but he didn't.
I think part of that was we had slid to him and he had two guys on him, which when you had two guys on you, he's the kind of player that's extraordinarily unselfish. He walks away with 4 assists. Now, I thought we did a really nice job of defending him today. I thought Nick Fields and the group did a good job. But he's the kind of player, he draws a slide, he knows exactly where the ball goes, it's the basketball in him, and he did exactly what he probably should have done, which is he threw the ball up top, they had a time room shot, and we just were fortunate that Joe made a very good save.
Joe, with so many these talented players in the midfield and the attack, are you seeing how you guys are creating matchup problems against other teams because so many guys can score? And
Yeah, for sure. We're seeing double pulls. We're seeing different zones. We're seeing designated slides, stuff like that. We're getting problems with Crawley at attack. We bring Crawley through the box. Cole Williams has been a great like up and comer for us as a freshman and stuff like that. So it definitely causes problems. I feel like we're faster this year. We're more prepared. Coach Benson we have a lot more experience on the offense. So I feel like with the guys and how we're playing right now that we should be able to cause matchup problems for other teams.
Joe, from your perspective, how did the last play of regulation unfold? The goal on Sherlock when the ball got knocked loose and you?
Oh, when you were saying when it got skipped?
No, when he dodged underneath at the end of the fourth quarter.
Oh, at the fourth quarter, yeah. I just saw him coming in. We were just screwing a double just because we knew he was going to the net. And everyone else did a good job blocking off their guys, making sure he didn't have an outlet, and make sure that the offensive player didn't get to crash the backside pipe.
He's not a passer in that situation. He's not. When you go underneath like that, and you're playing right-handed and you're coming underneath, it is an opportune time to double. His option is to put it in his left hand and throw it adjacent to X, and we clamped the adjacent, and when he looked to roll back, we were already on top of him, and he is actually trying to get underneath us, which he actually did. If you looked at I think the one where they went up by 1, he got underneath us on a higher angle. His dodge started higher, so he had a better opportunity to dodge and get underneath. This one, I thought we were a little bit more prepared and a little more willing to slide and stay on the double.
Coach, you said after the opener against Navy, you were still you guys are still trying to figure out who you were. After 3-0 now, you're starting to see what kind of team? Or?
You know, as I said, we may be just what we are, you know, and we may be a team that's just, you know, today some guys didn't play a lot. We played them, but they didn't play a lot, you know, and there's different games where depending on what we're running will depend on who's out there. Depending on who's got a hot hand will depend on who's out there. You know, today was the game where, you know, Forrest Smith as a young guy stepped in and gave us 2 goals, and because the moment wasn't too big for him, we were able to leave him and bring John Crawley in and use John at the midfield with Joe and Pat, and we could bring Cole Williams. The moment wasn't too big for him. We could bring Cole in with the black midfield. You know, and I think that's who we are right now. I don't know if I look at it, and if you look at it statistically, you don't say, well, that's your marquee midfielder, because Joel has one, Crawley has one, Frazier has one, Eisler has one. You know, there's games where it's the attack, there's games where it's the midfielders. So I don't think we know exactly who we are still yet, because you know what? Connor Reed's not what he's going to be. Okay, Alex Kincanon's not what he's going to be, and Drew Sapinski is not what he's going to be a month from now. Those guys are going to get healthier, they're going to get stronger, they're going to get more comfortable. And when those guys get comfortable, we got a lot of, you know, we got a whole nother, you know, thing to kind of figure out.
You have time for one more?
12-31 on faceoffs. Do you think there's a positive to be taken away from the fact that you can win despite not being 50%?
We weren't able to do it a year ago. We weren't able to get stops when we needed them. I don't think we were great defensively by any sense of the word today, but we got a couple of stops when we really needed them, and I think in the third quarter we really got a couple of stops that we needed, and because of that, you know, we're able to get possession of the ball and get a couple goals.
Okay, guys, we bring Loyola in. You guys go out that
Thanks,
way.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leave it there.